It's turning out to be a beautiful night here in America's heartland, Kansas City, Missouri. As you take a look there at Kauffman Stadium, I'm probably going to sell this one out again tonight. A record attendance season for the Royals at their home ballpark this year. It is James Paxton versus Johnny Cueto, and a win tonight for Kansas City, in addition to a loss by the Minnesota Twins against the Indians, would mean a Central Division championship for Kansas City tonight. We'll see what happens. What is a very fine pitching matchup here from Kauffman Stadium. The Royals have taken the field, and Mike, how we take a glance at the Mariners starting lineup tonight?
Tonight's starting lineup brought to you by Chevron. Leading off, it'll be Ketel Marte, an 11-game hitting streak for Ketel, hitting .409 with two triples, over that time. So really been a hot hitter. Seager, then it's Cruz, the DH, batting third. Cano, the cleanup hitter, hit number 2,000 for him last night. Then it's Smith, Trumbo, Morrison, Miller, and Sucre round out the 9 for the Mariners. For Cueto, has a Kansas City Royal 2-6 record, ERA over 5. It had really been a struggle up till his last outing. 45 strikeouts in 63 1/3. Opponent's hitting .310. He's given up 9 home runs. And for the defense, you have the Gold Glover Gordon in left field. You have Kane in center and Rios out in right. So they cover a lot of ground in the outfield. Moustakas is at third base. Escobar, the fine shortstop for him. Then you have Zobrist and Hosmer on the right side of the infield. Salvador Perez will do the catching. Nice defense brought to you by American Family Insurance.
And we were curious if we would see Salvador Perez in the starting lineup tonight, or if it would be Butera after Perez left relatively late in last night's game for precautionary reasons because of a minor knee injury. And for the Royals' sake, they're happy that their Gold Glover and all-star catcher is healthy to go tonight.
And I thought he looked pretty good. I watched him run from the dugout to the bullpen to get Cueto loose tonight, and he seemed to be just fine.
Well, just be advised, as you're watching back home, we're having some hardware issues here in Kansas City in the truck, so we will not have the pitch tracer or speeds at this time tonight for both Cueto, Paxton, and the bullpen arms for the rubber game of the series tonight. As Ketel Marte will lead things off for the Mariners, trying to lengthen an already impressive 11-game hit streak. 18 hits in those 11 games.
And speaking of speeds, for Cueto, his average fastball will be between 92 and 94 miles an hour. Throw a cutter at 88 and a changeup at 83. He will mix in an occasional curveball and slider.
Now the Mariners have a chance for their second straight series win against a first-place team. They took 2 games out of 3 in Arlington against the Rangers. Cueto out of the glove, stumbles, and Marte is safe.
And they'll rule it a base hit. So Marte extending his hitting streak to 12 games with this bunt base hit. He's trying to take it with him. He wanted to bunt it past the pitcher, and you can see go right off the end of his glove. So with the bobble, Marte will pick up a hit.
We might see a chalk outline there on the grass tomorrow here at Kauffman,
probably,
depending on how this one goes for Cueto tonight, if he's in good spirits for it. And now Hosmer coming over for a quick visit. By the way, a note on that hitting streak now for Marte, as Salvador Perez will join the conversation. For Marte, now a 12-game hitting streak. That's the longest hitting streak by a Mariners shortstop since Yuniesky Betancourt's franchise record 20-game hitting streak in 2007. A-Rod also had a 20-game hitting streak in 1996.
A 20-game hitting streak is impressive, but you would have thought somebody would have had better than an 11, 12-game hitting streak over that time.
I really thought Brad Miller might have.
I thought so, too. When you were asking me about it, I thought that maybe Brad had.
Brad's longest is 8, and that actually happened this year. Marte at first for Kyle Seager. Mike, do you think that visit to the mound by Hosmer and Perez was more for Cueto just to gather himself after the faceplant?
I think so, because after he was up, he seemed that he was fine, and he went to the top of the mound. Then he walked to the back of the mound. I don't know if maybe he had the wind knocked out of him a little bit, but they were definitely checking on his health.
Seager ahead 3-0. Cruz on deck. Seager sitting on 25 homers. That ties the career high that he set last year. And a 4-pitch walk. So the first 2 men reaching the infield single, and now a walk on 4 pitches. The Mariners have 2 on for Cruz. And Ned Yost keeping a close eye on Cueto tonight. And here comes the trainer along with Yost.
Well, we showed you the numbers for Cueto against the Tigers, where he really pitched well. 7 innings, 8 hits, just 2 earned runs. But before that, his previous 5 starts, he gave up 6 earned runs, 4, 5, and 7. It has really been a struggle for him up till his last outing. And I thought it was interesting, Aaron. We heard a lot about Salvador Perez, the catcher, getting the glove down lower in the strike zone to try to help him out, get him down, especially with his changeup. And I really thought it was interesting that they also wanted him to move back off the plate a little bit more.
What do you make of that?
I think that just the distance and the glove down for the visual of Cueto really helps him out to where he wants the pitch to end up. And I think it's more for his changeup to make sure that he gets it down out of the strike zone. He doesn't want to leave it up. He's been hurt on that pitch quite a few times, and so I think that's the biggest reason why.
Well, when Cueto landed on the grass halfway to first base, you did not think, based on his initial reaction and just how he felt, that it would require him to have a visit to the mound by the trainer and take some warm-up tosses. We'll see, maybe kind of toe picks it there with his right foot a little bit.
Well, I thought it was pretty simple. I mean, he fell forward. I didn't see him twist an ankle. They were looking at his legs a little bit. I think one of the surprising things, Aaron, is you're talking about one of the premier pitchers in the National League and the struggles that he's had since he's been here in the American League. I mean, even if he's not right, you would think that he would be able to go out there and still manage it, but that hasn't been the case up until his last outing. So we'll see how he goes tonight, but so far off to a tough start with the base hit by Marte and then 4 pitches to walk Seager.
Well, one thing that really tells the story of Cueto, he's given up 9 homers in 10 starts with the Royals. He gave up 11 homers in almost 20 starts with Cincinnati. He's been bit by the long ball.
And the other part about that was interesting when I saw that is the splits. 345 right-handed hitters, and they've hit 7 of the 9 home runs. And again, fastball, cutter, changeup for the most part, an occasional slider and curveball.
Cruz a 10-game hitting streak. He has Marte at second base and Seager at first.
And you can see Kane, the center fielder, shading towards right. Big gap in left center.
And Cueto ahead 1-2. Cueto, 29 years old, out of the Dominican Republic, last year an All-Star. Had an ERA of .225 as the ace for the Reds. Cueto coming off his best start in a long while for the Royals. That was at Comerica Park on Friday night when he matched up against Justin Verlander. 2 runs over 7 innings. The first inning was a little bit of a rocky one for Cueto, but then he really settled in. Takes a peek at Marte. Yeah! And that just misses. And once again, as we said at the very top of the broadcast, our apologies. We're having some hardware issues here in Kansas City, so we do not have the pitch tracer or the velocity. RBI chance for Cruz. Towards Kane. Angling back towards the track, and he makes the catch. Marte able to attack and get into third base, so the Mariners have him on the corners now with 1 out.
Looked as if Nelson Cruz hit that ball off the end of the bat and was still able to hit it all the way out to the warning track in right center field. So a good opportunity for the Mariners to score a run here as Marte was able to tag up and get to third. Good series so far for Cano. 3 for 9 with a couple of home runs.
Not sure how much our microphones pick up the boos for Cano here in Kansas City, what you might be able to hear from your couch back at home, but that has been a reception that the Midwestern hospitality has not extended to Robinson Cano since the All-Star game was held here a few years back. Cano was the captain for the American League for the Home Run Derby and did not pick Billy Butler to hit for the American League, and much to the displeasure, as you can imagine, for the Royals fans. And apparently Royals fans have very good memories, because we've been hearing those boos. We heard them last year, this year, and at this rate we'll be hearing them for a while.
Which is interesting because Billy Butler is now in Oakland.
They love Billy Butler still. But you're right. Escobar will step on the bag, and Cano, an easy double play victim. The Mariners can't cash in. Marte and Seager both reach to begin the inning, but a double play instincts. Scoreless. Marte an infield single. Seager the walk, but could not cash in. As Mike would take a look at the starting lineup for the Royals.
Number one hitting team in the American League. Leading off Alex Gordon, then it is Zobrist. Lorenzo Cain with the big hit last night, 3 for 6 with the walk-off single. Then it is Hosmer, Morales, and Moustakas in the middle of the lineup. Rios, Perez, and Escobar round out the 9 for the Royals. For Paxton on the year, a 3-4 record of 3.70 ERA, 55 strikeouts to 29 walks over the 65 2/3 that he has worked. Opponents hitting .242, has given up 7 home runs this year. And a look at the Mariners defense, brought to you by American Family Insurance. Seth Smith is in left field, Miller out in center, Mark Trumbo in right. Kyle Seager, your third baseman, Marte and Cano playing up the middle, Logan Morrison getting the start at first, and Sucre will do the catching.
Paxton pitching on an extra day's rest here in Kansas City.
And you can see his numbers against the Rangers, 4 1/3, 88 pitches. Boyd would really like to see him improve on that, be a little more efficient. And you would think that this would be a good matchup for James. Kansas City does not strike out much, and they don't walk much. They want to swing the bat, so if he can hit the edges of the plate, throw strike one like he just did, get them swinging the bats, maybe he can get deeper in this ball game.
Alex Gordon last night snapped an 0 for 22 drought when he singled in the 10th inning. Royals walking off with the win last night. Right to Marte, who gobbles it up for an easy out, number 1. Well, Paxton is facing the Royals for the first time in exactly 2 years, as he struck out a career best 10 batters. He spun 7 scoreless at Safeco Field in a 4-0 win over Kansas City, as we take a look at our Geico this date in big league history. And that was one of his best career starts. It also happened to be one of his very first career starts for Paxton. That was his final start of that year and his 4th start of the majors.
Those numbers will work again tonight.
I think that really kind of helps to tell the narrative of Paxton. You look at last year, injury problems, and this year, injury problems. Tonight, feels like Mike Paxton has been on this team for a while, and he has. But tonight for James, this is only his 30th career major league start. And if you figure that your normal starter will give you 32 starts a year, he's yet to put together cumulatively a full season.
No, you're right. Injuries have really bothered him over the last couple of years.
Fair ball, tight to the line. Zobrist standing up at second base.
And for Zobrist, the switch hitter, looked like a little cut fastball, able to hit it right down the line. It was elevated in the middle of the plate. Tried to get it in on his hands, missed his location.
But when you think about the 30 starts for Paxton tonight, the 30th, really leads us to something that Rick Waits has said a number of times. And Mike, it's probably fair to say that this is some good baseball gospel to live by. Youth in this game is not necessarily your date of birth. It's also your experience time. Paxton's 26, which you wouldn't think in this game. You wouldn't consider that a young pup. But with only 30 starts, that is not a whole lot of playing time. Seager, a strong throw, and it's in time to beat out the hustling Lorenzo Cain. Out number 2.
High chopper. The one thing you have to worry about as a third baseman is if it gets up into the lights. But Kyle able to set his feet before he catches the ball. That's a big key when you're going to get rid of it quickly. You can see him get in there, a little crow hop right before he caught it. Everything was timed perfectly to get the speedy Cain.
2 outs. Paxton trying to work around the double.
Well, and to your point, you mentioned Paxton, 26 years old. You would hope that he would be finishing his second full year, so it'd be 2 plus at this point, and it hasn't been the case experience wise because he just hasn't been able to stay on the mound. And I think, you know, as an organization, you're still trying to figure out what you have. You know, he has plus stuff. His fastball will be 95 or better. He has the great curveball, changeup to go with it, but health has been an issue.
Maybe the only curveball we have seen thrown with greater velocity was last night from Yordano Ventura when he was spinning him in there at about 85.
Right.
Paxton's curve about 82, 81. Two and nothing to Hosmer.
This is one of the things that is interesting when you watch a team and you get the numbers and you look at them all, and you talked about the Royals not walking or striking out. They want to be aggressive, swinging the bats. I thought this is why Iwakuma was so good in the first game of this series. In these counts, he was able to throw his breaking ball, whether it was a slider or a curveball, to get back in the count. That looked like a changeup right there, so a pretty good pitch from Paxton. I think that's something you really have to do.
Iwakuma was fantastic in game 1. Season high 10 strikeouts. Only 3 hits over 7 scoreless. Mariners winning game 1, losing last night. Sucre down to second, and this gets off the hit of Zobrist. He takes third. He's being waved home as the ball gets kicked around a little bit in right field, and the Royals have taken the lead in a fairly surprising way.
It looked as if Sucre had a shot at Zobrist at second base. He was getting a large secondary lead. Unfortunately, when he went to throw the ball to second, he threw it back into the runner as it hit him in the hip.
We'll take another look.
Watch it hit him in the hip, and then, Aaron, this reminds me of when this ballpark used to be AstroTurf, because it hits the grass. You can see it continuing to roll away from Cano. In fact, it was Trumbo that eventually got to it first, and by then, too late. We talked about this outfield throughout the series. It's a fast outfield.
On a line to right, Trumbo looking up, and it's just off the wall. Couple of doubles for the Royals here in their half of the first.
we'll take a look at. Trying to go to the outside corner. It's a fastball. It's down, but it's in the middle of the plate, probably just below the strike zone. Just golfed it out there to hit off the top of the wall, just missing a home run.
That brings in Morales. And you can see the numbers there. It has been a monster year for Kendrys in his first year here in Kansas City. Opposite way, Trumbo angling back once again and is able to make the squeeze to end things in the bottom of the first. A run in on the throw off the waist of Zobrist, and the Royals have the lead. Here in Kansas City. When you head to Safeco Field on Friday, October 2nd, you could be flying out of the ballpark with Alaska Airlines round-trip tickets. It's one of dozens of prizes that will be given away all night long for Fan Appreciation Fireworks Night. Plus, enjoy a post-game fireworks show. Stop by mariners.com/fan for tickets. There's Seth Smith to begin things in the Mariners' second inning. Cueto was able to work out of a jam of the first two men reaching, but a double play ball helping to end the frame in Cueto's favor.
With Seth hitting, the Royals have the shift on. You can see the defense. Escobar on the right side of the infield. Zobrist well out onto the grass and right.
Two balls and a strike to Smith. When you think back to last night's game, and it turned out to be a wild one, the Royals winning in 10. Kansas City 4-3 the final. The Royals stranded 16 base runners. And you have to wonder, when's the last time this year, maybe it's happened more than we can think of, but that you strand closer to 20 base runners than to 10 and end up winning the ball game.
Well, they've been one of the best teams hitting with runners in scoring position this year. Coming into the game tonight, hitting .284 as a team, so I'm pretty sure that hasn't happened very often.
Full count to Smith, leading off the second. Trumbo on deck for the Mariners. And Smith down on strikes. First strikeout tonight for Cueto.
And a couple of really good changeups down out of the strike zone. We'll take a look at this last pitch. There's the changeup. You can see the late movement on it. Probably about 84, 85 miles an hour on his changeup.
Leadoff man retired. It brings in Trumbo. Mariners trying to get back to that 500 mark, entering tonight 74 and 78. Last night for the Mariners, a rare loss in this month of September. It has been a pretty incredible month so far. 13 and 7 this month for the Mariners. The offense has been there. The pitching has been there as well. A little flick the opposite way, and it drops in there for a base hit. One out single for Trumbo. A slugger is the mascot here in Kansas City, and when Johnny Cueto pitches, Mike, it seems as though Slugger's hair gets a nice extension, to say the least. They're into it here in KC.
I know Slugger has the crown and all, but maybe he should put a hat on over that to really get the look right.
That would be good.
Yeah.
And we need to see the Louis Tiant twist from Slugger as well, as we see so many times from Johnny Cueto. Now here is the man from Kansas City, Logan Morrison. Grew up a Royals fan. Kevin Seitzer, a longtime great Kansas City Royal, Lomo's hitting coach as a kid.
Now played against Kevin for a number of years. Really good hitter. Not surprised to hear that.
Lifted into right field. Rios curling over, nearing the track. Round number 2. We had a chance to talk a little bit last year with Kevin Seitzer when he was the hitting coach for the Blue Jays about Logan. And he remembered Logan and his father coming into his hitting academy when Lomo was just a kid, just a little boy. And he said that Lomo and his father were just drilling him with questions. I mean, they were peppering him left and right, hitting philosophy, techniques, this and that. And Kevin Seitzer's like, who's the big leaguer here? But he thinks of Lomo as a son. And it's very special to see him in the big leagues now. And steps Brad Miller with 2 outs.
Brad having a good month of September, hitting .319 in the month. A couple of doubles, a triple, and a home run.
He's ahead of the count, 2-0. Miller punched his 10th home run of the season out to right field in game 1 of the series. 2-run shot. Trumbo a single, leads at first.
Watching Cueto here early in the ball game, you can see why his splits are the way that they are. Against left-handers, he can use that cutter and really get it in on their hands. And seeing his changeup live for the first time, he has a lot of movement on his changeup, running away from him.
Now his numbers this year, if you combine his time in the National League with Cincinnati and also in his handful of starts in the American League with Kansas City, his splits are extreme. Right-handers are hitting essentially 60 points higher than lefties. Towards the line, and a fair ball. Trumbo steams into third base. Donnelly will wave him in. The throw coming to the plate, and Trumbo slides in safe, and we're tied at 1. Miller just sneaks that in fair, and we're right back where we started.
And we'll take a look at the swing by Brad. A little fastball running away from him. As Aaron mentioned, just fair. Talked about Brad being a hot hitter, and that's one of the reasons why he's using the entire field. Really doing a good job of spraying the ball around the month of September.
That brings in Sucre. But even over the course of Cueto's career, he's had reverse splits, not to the extreme that we're seeing them this season, but this has been something that has been an oddity with Cueto, but that changeup explaining things a little bit.
I think his changeup and the cut fastball in on the hands. That was a cutter right there running away from the right-hander.
And can't that be a dangerous pitch, trying to get that cutter in if you don't get it in?
Well, that's the biggest key to it all. And I think that for him, just watching him when he throws it to the righties, it's away from the right-handers. He's really programmed to throw that pitch on one side of the plate.
Caught looking. Sucre down on 3 pitches. Miller stranded, but he brings in Trumbo, and through 1.5, we're tied at 1. As we make our way into the bottom of the 2nd inning, and taking a glance at our CenturyLink what's next. It'll be Vidal Nuno getting to start tomorrow against Garrett Richards of the Angels, a 3-game weekend series for the Big A. The King versus Andrew Heaney, who's pitched very well this year, his first season in Anaheim. And then Iwakuma versus Jared Weaver. It'll be an earlier first pitch to wrap up the series on Sunday. Mike Moustakas begins things for the Royals at the bottom of the 2nd. Now, Mike, there's no doubt the big news from the Royals club, or pardon me, from the Mariners clubhouse today was the fate of Taijuan Walker. We see Nuno going tomorrow, and based on what Lloyd said, it is very unlikely that we will see Taijuan pitch for the rest of the year. It looks like he'll be shut down.
We talked about that quite a bit on the homestand and regarding his innings, trying to keep his innings down. So, and I think for Taijuan, he's thrown the ball really well as of late. Has to feel a lot better about himself. I really think he's had a good season this year, his first time through. So it makes perfect sense, really, at this point. The bottom line is you have to take care of your young pitchers, and obviously he's one of the stars as far as the young guys go, along with Paxton. So you have to take care of him, and I think it makes sense.
Lloyd really referenced the 2 main things, and you kind of touched on both, as to why this was a good time to shut it down for Taijuan. Number 1 is health.
Right.
He's ending healthy, and that is critical. And the second is his confidence. Coming off a really fine start his last time out. Skyscraper into the corner. Trumbo out of room. Just fair and gone. Moustakas gives the Royals the lead right back.
Moustakas, his 21st home run on the year. He ties Morales for the team lead. And we'll take a look at the pitch. Breaking ball right in the middle of the plate. Probably middle in and at the knees. Just dropped the barrel on it. curveball at 82 miles an hour.
Moustakas has now set a new career high in homers and in RBIs with that one swing. Getting back to Taijuan, though, Mike, Lloyd saying that with the work that Taijuan did this year and a strong offseason, he really feels that Taijuan, and this makes sense, will be built to go 200+ innings next year. Which is what you're hoping for from a starter.
You would think that Taijuan, you look at his build, big strong kid, and they were able to push him out this year, career high in innings pitched for him. And his last outing, his velocity was really good. He looked healthy, he looked strong, so I think that you can certainly expect that. I like the progression that he had this year. Rick Waite did a really good job with him. Struggling a little bit out of the gates, made him throw his fastball a lot. Good pitch right there from James Paxton, changeup down and away, and then let him use his changeup some. Then he started to use his changeup more, and then the second half we started to see the curveball more. And I think that's something that we're going to see, the combination of all three of those pitches right out of the gate next year. But I like the fact that Rick wanted him to command his fastball first, his good fastball. He's always had a good changeup, and then start using the breaking ball late. And I think that really helped Taijuan.
And there is something to be said about watching a player, especially a very young player, as Taijuan turned 23 this summer, struggle and how they react to struggle.
All right, you're right.
It's going to happen. How do you respond?
Right. Well, and you were talking about it too, being here all year. He understands that now. As great as Felix is, he's going to have a bad outing from time to time. How does Felix respond to it? Well, he saw Felix more times than not would come right back and pitch extremely well his next outing. I think those things are really valuable when you can sit in the dugout and watch that happen.
Lomo racing after it, but it's off the tarp. Still 0-2 on Salvador Perez. You see Felix
with his bat.
He'll bring that with him Saturday in Anaheim. Now, speaking of Felix, the man at the plate right now, Salvador Perez, also from Venezuela. Last year's battery, the starting battery for the American League All-Star game. Salvador will scatter some of his teammates in the dugout. Cuthbert, we saw him last night off the bench.
Salvador taking inventory right now to make sure everybody's okay.
And with rosters expanding, there's less room to hide this time of year. Getting awfully crowded. Pass Marte. And a one-out single for Salvador Perez. Well, get your hands on the latest and greatest Mariner Moose poster. They're free to all youngsters at Kids Appreciation Day, presented by Ivers in Kid Valley on Sunday, October 4th. There will be prizes, surprises, mascots, and more that afternoon, so grab your tickets right now by going to mariners.com. 1 out and 1 on for the Royals, who have taken the lead on the home run by Moustakas. First at bat for the shortstop, Alcides Escobar.
Perez at first base does not run well, so Logan Morrison's going to play behind him, not hold him on the bag. Not expecting him to run. Give Logan a little more range over at first.
Escobar last year playing all 162 games for Kansas City. Into center field, Miller have to get there on a couple of skips. And Escobar is aboard, pushes Perez into second. Now 3 of the first 4 men in the second inning have reached on hits. A homer and now a couple of singles.
And Rick Waite's going to make a trip out to the mound. This is on a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Talked about it before. The Royals want to hit the fastball. That one in the middle of the plate. And now Rick Griffin, the trainer, on his way out. Lloyd McClendon out of the dugout now taking a look at it. James keeps looking at his finger. He was having an issue earlier this year with his finger.
Now that is what caused Paxton to miss so much time. You can already see some frustration on James's face.
I think this might be a blister situation.
Remember, too, Paxton essentially lost a fingernail on a rehab start. That's going to be it for Paxton. You can tell by his face, very frustrating. As we will have a new pitcher, and it looks like not a major injury, but we will find out more from the clubhouse a little bit later on. Is brought to you by Silver Reef Hotel Casino Spa, I-5, exit 260, Ferndale, Washington, and by BNSF Railway, sponsor of the BNSF Blast. Well, this one not going the way the Mariners were hoping for, especially in terms of James Paxton, tonight's starting pitcher, leaving after an inning and a third, and now J.C. Ramirez will get plenty of time to warm up.
Just 4 appearances for him. He's pitched well. ERA just over 2. 4 in the third. Couple of strikeouts, 2 walks. Opponents hitting 188 against him. Good fastball slider combination for J.C. Ramirez.
Take a look at our Columbia Bank game summary. This one early on tonight. Now we saw Zobrist a big lead, but then takes that throw from Sucre off the hip, and that was able to get enough for Zobrist to come home and score. That ball kind of died out in right field, and then in the second, Brad Miller just gets this in fair, and that brings home Trumbo. That tied this game up at 1 apiece, and the tie did not last for long. Moustakas, who has really improved this year against left-handed pitching, able to yank that one out to right. We will step aside as J.C. Ramirez continues to warm up. A short night tonight for James Paxton. sellout crowd tonight from Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, hoping to see the Royals clinch the Central, their magic number at 2. They need a win tonight and a Twins loss. Here is J.C. Ramirez facing Gordon back to the top of the order. Just an inning and a third for Paxton, having to leave with what looked to be some kind of finger issue, whether that was a blister or re-aggravating the tendon. We will find out, and as soon as we know, we'll pass it along. Just foul.
I saw a couple of pitches before he came out of the game. He looked as if he was more of a blister situation on the tip of his finger. Might have been the fingernail that you were talking about earlier too, but I don't think it was the same issue out earlier. I put him on the DL, so hopefully they can get that figured out and get him back out there before the season's over. You'd like to see him get another start.
And also we know that it's important for Paxton just to get some innings, to log innings, and he'll be going to Arizona at the end of the season to help in that effort. And an inning in the third tonight, we'll see what that means for maybe even a couple more innings once the season's over with.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Coming into the game today, just 65 2/3 for him.
Perez at second base, Escobar at first. Both reached on singles. Zobrist on deck. He doubled and scored in the first. J.C. Ramirez pitching for the second time in this series. We saw him give up a run in the ninth inning in game 1, which turned out to be an 11-2 Mariners win. Line drive, and it's right past Lomo. Perez held at third by Jershely.
And a really good throw from Mark Trumbo in right field. Wondering if maybe Logan Morris, if that went right off the end of his glove. Logan trying to catch the line drive off the bat of Gordon. Runners have to freeze for a second. We talked about Perez. He doesn't run well, but you would think that on a base hit that was that deep out into the right field. Look at the effort by Logan. But a one-hop throw to home by Trumbo.
Right on the money. Base is jammed for Zobrist.
Zobrist, a switch hitter, doubled, hitting right-handed off of Paxton in the first, and ended up scoring.
Dayton Moore at the deadline went out. Got Zobrist from the A's. Got Cueto from the Reds. Two balls and a strike. Perez at third base reached on the single. Escobar a single as well at second base. Gordon at first, as now Zobrist is ahead 3-1. Kane, who has been one of the best hitters in the league, standing on deck. No place to put him. The 3-1. Easy fly ball. Trumbo about medium depth, and Salvador Perez not running well. Big man, he'll have to hold. That's a big out number 2.
Going to challenge him with the fastball, shallow fly ball, and they just saw Trumbo make the perfect throw from much deeper area than that. No chance for Perez. Saw Perez coming down the line. He just wanted Trumbo to have to throw the ball all the way to home in case it was going to get away from Sucre. No intentions of trying to score on it.
Kane had the walk-off base hit last night in the 10th. A night where he went 3 for 6. Ramirez working ahead 0-2. Trying to get out of a bases loaded jam here in the second. Now the Royals on the season, they have been very good in situations like this, runners in scoring position, but they have not been good in this series. 4 for 21. Perez at third, Escobar at second base, Gordon at first with 2 outs. Not missing by a whole lot, 2-2.
4 for 21. And one of the biggest hits that they had was by this man, Lorenzo Cain, who had the base hit in the 10th inning last night to beat the Mariners. The walk-off base hit to right.
Here comes Marte over to Cano, and that'll end it as the Royals leave him loaded. Where they do take the lead. Moustakas the homer. We go to the third. Boy, Tom, thank you for that update. And that came pretty early in Minneapolis. That's a healthy lead for the Tribe. So we know what folks here inside Kauffman Stadium will be looking at. Marte leads off the top of the third.
Marte with a bunt base hit his first time up.
Hosmer with the backhand. He'll take care of it himself. Big Sky Conference football is back, and the action continues this Saturday at 1 p.m. Pacific as the Northern Arizona Lumberjacks travel to Missoula to face the Montana Grizzlies. Root Sports is your home for Big Sky football, presented by your local Ford stores. For all full broadcast schedule, just visit rootsports.com. Leadoff man sat down, and here is Seager. Looks at strike one.
Royals don't have the shift on with Kyle hitting. Zobrist is playing on the grass at second base. Escobar, the shortstop, you can see him playing up the middle.
You figure Zobrist was on teams that were really some of the first to employ the shift when you think about all his years with the mad scientist in Tampa Bay and Joe Maddon. And Maddon has even said in recent years that he first started toying with the shift when he was in Anaheim as a coach against Ken Griffey Jr. That's kind of how it all started, at least for Maddon. Seager down on strikes. Third punch out for Cueto.
And it looks like a good fastball running to the outside corner. Good movement on his fastball. His changeup has been excellent tonight. Fastball has been 93 to 95 miles an hour tonight. Also mixing in a cutter right around 90.
Nobody on, 2 outs for Cruz, who represents a tying run. And remember, home runs have been a problem for Cueto, especially here in Kansas City. Really, that's the only place that has been a home run since he's put on a Royals uniform.
One of the things that we were talking about at the start of the game was Perez trying to get his target as low as he possibly can. And you can see with nobody on base going down to the one knee. Some of you will remember Tony Pena used to do that all the time, because Salvador Perez is a big man, so to put the low target is difficult, but he will not be able to do that with runners on base. But with nobody on, you can see him go down to that knee to get the target as low as he possibly can.
The whole story, the whole narrative with Cueto and the low target versus the high target for Salvador Perez, you wonder what was the case when Cueto first came to Kansas City and was on just a monster roll. His first 4 starts, he had an ERA of $1.80. Opponents were hitting .222 off of him, and he spun a complete game shutout against the Tigers. And then all of a sudden, the target was a little too high.
I can tell you, Aaron, sometimes when things aren't going well, you need a Band-Aid.
That's a good way to put it. Boy, Cueto held that windup for what seemed like a minute. Side sat down in order. We go to the bottom of the third. Mike, how about this one?
Little shimmy, a little extra.
A little showmanship, too.
Yes.
Mariners postgame presented by Delta Airlines. Will take you inside the clubhouse, get postgame reaction and sound from all involved tonight. And we will hear from James Paxton as well. Have to imagine, who had to leave this ball game, as we have found out, because of a torn fingernail. Paxton done after an inning and a third. First pitch, and it's eaten up there by Cano. Robinson with the nifty pick, and with one pitch, Hosmer is retired.
And not an easy play, and in between hop, you can see it sinking quickly, but he was able to catch it. Looked like just in the palm of his hand, didn't even catch it in the webbing. It was hit so hard he had to wait for Logan Morrison to get to first base.
One out for Morales.
It's a real shame for Paxton, for James, to have the issue with the fingernail again. Like, he had pretty good command tonight and good stuff. 33 pitches, 21 strikes, 18 batters faced, 15 first pitch strikes. Did give up the home run to Moustakas, but I think you have to tip your hat to that one because it was a breaking ball, and it was in the middle of the plate, but it was down out of the strike zone.
Command was really one of the main points of emphasis tonight that Lloyd was hoping to see Paxton clean up. Ball and 2 strikes to Morales.
Good fastball right there from Ramirez. Fastball will be 94 to 96 miles an hour. Looked like one of his better ones.
Morales having a career year in a number of ways. He has a chance to surpass his career high in runs batted in. He's at 105. He drove in a .108 back in 2009 when he received some MVP votes that year as a member of the Angels. And Mike, that really leads to a debate that many are having these days around the game when it comes to RBIs, and that RBIs, some would say, a very overrated stat, that you are only a product of your environment when it comes to runs batted in. And there's a thread of truth to that. You can only drive in guys if there are men to drive in.
Yeah.
So if there aren't men on base, there's not a whole lot you can do about it. But there is something about certain hitters who perform better when they have a man at second and third. That cannot be said of everyone.
No, it can't. I think that you're right about that. And I think if you have a number of years to look at it and they consistently are able to get hits in those situations to drive in runs, and that's the bottom line. You want to score as many runs as you can. It's pretty important. But I think you have to give him some credit.
One out walk to Morales. Take a look at our Seattle City Light power play, and it was one big swing from Mike Moustakas.
And that was on the breaking ball from Paxton. Again, below the hitting area, just dropped the barrel on it, hit it right down the line for his 21st home run of the year.
Career high in homers, career high in RBIs now for Moustakas. An all-star this year for the first time. When you're talking about hitting with runners in scoring position, one of the most insightful conversations we've had this year with an opposing manager came in San Francisco with Bruce Bochy. When Bochy, who will be going to Cooperstown one day, yes, he's a Hall of Fame manager, there's no doubt about it. He was talking about Buster Posey, who at the time and still is one of the best hitters in the game this year with runners in scoring position. He said when he's managing against an opposing hitter that maybe is in a slump, but historically has been off the charts good with a runner at second or third base, he's always kind of putting on some kid gloves in that situation, because there's something about that moment with a man in scoring position for certain hitters where they're just better, and that's pretty rare to find.
I think that when you talk about something like that, and it is rare to find, it's one of the things that gave a lot of managers headaches for a lot of years. And you mentioned Ken Griffey Jr. and putting the shift on Joe Manning, doing that with Jr. And who would want to pitch to him with the career that he had?
Right.
But that manager always had to look who was standing on deck, and that was Edgar Martinez. And Edgar, you know, he had some years there where he hit some home runs, but I think for the most part he was driving even over 100 runs because of his ability to hit in those situations. Some of it is the way that he prepared, knowing pitchers, knowing what he wanted to do, what he was going to look for, being able to relax in those situations. There's a lot that went into it, and I've talked to Edgar about that now that he's the hitting coach for the Mariners. And he keeps it pretty simple, and it was hit a good pitch to hit early. Don't try to do too much with it. Get the barrel to it and hit it hard somewhere, and whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And his thought was in today's game, a lot of hitters overswing, maybe miss that pitch, foul it off, swing through it, and then the major league pitcher will go to work on it.
Three-two to Moustakas. Sucre to give it a look, but it's into the seats. Well, Edgar for his career, Mike, a .302 hitter with runners in scoring position. A lot of guys,
steady.
Yeah, a lot of guys would love to have that for their career average period, let alone in the clutch.
Now, and then you think probably, especially when you get into late in games, everybody's facing the starters, obviously, that are in the lineup. But you get late into the games, I'm sure that the opposing managers are bringing in whoever was their best right-hander to try to get him out.
Moustakas, a home run earlier, now a walk. Back-to-back walks from Ramirez, puts two on with one out.
And Lloyd McClendon going to make a trip out to the mound.
Rios due up.
Alex Rios had an 11-game hitting streak. It was snapped in last night's ball game. He is due up.
Will step aside. Guipe coming on for the Mariners. Two on and one out in the bottom of the third inning. J.C. Ramirez done for the night. It's now Michael Guipe taking over.
15 appearances, ERA right at 6. 16 strikeouts in 21 innings. Opponent's high batting average against him, 353. He's given up 4 home runs. Well, the Royals so far tonight, 1 for 5 runners in scoring position.
Moustakas at first, Morales at second. Both reached on ball 4. Now Lloyd is hoping to not have to use the bullpen much tonight, but that has not been the case so far. He's on his second reliever. Paxton having to leave earlier with the torn fingernail. James going just an inning and a third.
Lloyd using 7 relievers in last night's ball game.
Well, Helmson is unavailable tonight, as you might imagine he would be after 32 pitches And what unfortunately was a blown save last night for Tom.
His first.
He's been so steady. Well, last night it was Farquhar, Beimel, Carson Smith, who has a question mark over him tonight as to whether or not he will be available. Suppose we'll find out. Tom, Logan Kinsing, we saw David Rollins, and Tony Zick. It was Elias who got the start and pitched well. Through the left side, Morales will get the stop sign at third base. And back to the bag. Morales is out. Arte covering, and Kendrys Morales just ran over the bag and late coming back.
And this comes down to just good fundamentals across the board. Morales does not run well. Ball is hit hard. We talked about the outfield. He gets to Seth Smith quickly. But what does he do? He hits his cutoff man, and Marte is your Todd as the shortstop. Trail behind and cover the bag. And a pretty good flip by Kyle Seager, keeping that ball down. And it looks as if he is out. Good play. Well done all the way around by the Mariners.
Moustakas at second, Rios at first. First pitch up and into Salvador Perez, making that man very happy. Chris Woodward, Mariners first base and infield coach.
Really does a great job with all the infielders.
Perez, an all-star each of the last 3 years. 2 outs and 2 on. Smith with plenty of room in left field to end the inning, as the Mariners able to get out of a bases loaded jam as we go to the 4th. Mariners down by a run. Kansas City. We take a look at the Mariners calendar, brought to you by Sleep Country USA. Well, it'll be a late or early arrival, depending on how you look at it. And to Anaheim, the Mariners will put the wheels up, fly over to Orange County, and then a 3-game series beginning at Angel Stadium starting tomorrow night. Felix will take the ball on Saturday. Nuno going on Friday. It'll be Iwakuma versus Weaver on Sunday the 27th. Then it's back home, the final homestand of the season, and you can see the postseason dates there as well. Off day before those final 3 games against Oakland. Cano will lead things off in the top of the 4th. Double play victim in the first inning, trying to extend a 7-game hitting streak. And ahead 2-0. Well, the highlight from last night was Robinson picking up career hit number 2,000 off of Kelvin Herrera. Opposite field single into left. And for Cano, he becomes the 12th active player right now in the big leagues. He'll make it 11 with 2,000 hits. Of course, A-Rod the most. Over 3,000 happening earlier this year. Ichiro right behind him. I wonder if Ichiro will end up getting to 3,000 depending on how long he goes for. You can see the milestones for Robinson Cano. You got to go back to early May of 2005. Off of Hideo Nomo, his first hit in the big leagues, all the way up to number 2,000. Plenty more to come for Robinson Cano. Well, just like last night, just like 2000, 2001 is into left field. 7-game hitting streak for Cano.
Cueto trying to get him to roll over on the changeup. You'll see it moving to the outside corner. Elevated a little bit. Just slaps it the other way.
Tying run at first. It brings in Seth Smith. Well, a lot has been made by some since Cueto came over to Kansas City about the delivery from Cueto. We saw the shoulder shake on that final pitch to Cruz, which Nelson ended up striking out on. You might remember near the end of August, Brad Ausmus had some post-game comments claiming that that was an illegal pitch because he was altering his delivery. What do you make of the delivery from Cueto?
I think it's fine as long as there aren't runners on base. They also have the big turn, similar to the one that Felix has, so he'll vary what he's doing out there. And apparently the umpires feel the same way. Because nothing's been done about it. We've already seen it again tonight.
There's clearly a certain level of showmanship that comes along with it. You add to it the flowing dreadlocks coming out of the back of the ball cap. It's a pretty fun spectacle. But from a strategic standpoint, Mike, there's got to be something from Cueto's angle to try to mess up some timing, maybe?
Well, I think there is a timing element to it.
Back-to-back base hits. All the way to the corner in left field. Cano trotting into third base. And the Mariners have runners at second and third. Double for Smith, and the Mariners have the tying run 90 feet from home.
So a couple of the left-handed hitters going the other way. A pitch again on the outside corner. Mariners in great shape. Second and third, nobody out. Bring up Mark Trumbo. Trumbo with a base hit to right field. He went the other way, ended up scoring the one run for the Mariners. I think that there's something else to it too. I think with that, the timing aspect of it, also with the big turn and the hesitation, trying to hide the ball a little bit longer. I thought it was amazing seeing him do all that with Nelson up there, and he made a perfect pitch. Just split the outside corner with it. That's the difficult part.
Yeah, it loses some of its luster if that pitch ends up in the fountains. Fair ball. Cano will score easily. Here comes Smith right on his heels, and the Mariners have taken the lead as Trumbo having a nice night. Jumps on the first offering. His second hit this evening.
And back-to-back doubles for the Mariners. Aren't picking up a couple of RBIs. More importantly, giving the Mariners the lead. Being aggressive early in the account, trying to get in on his hands with a fastball as he hits a strike down the line. Diving effort by Moustakas, the third baseman, wasn't able to get to it.
Trumbo in scoring position for Logan Morrison.
And the Royals will put the shift on with Logan hitting.
Now the Royals took the early lead back in the first inning on the air by Sucre, which hit off of Zobrist as Jesus was trying to pick off Zobrist at second base. He was able to come home and score, but then the Mariners tied it up on the RBI double for Miller. Royals took the lead, the homer by Moustakas, and now the Mariners on top thanks to that swing by Trumbo. High pop-up foul ground. Moustakas camps out underneath it. First out here in the fourth. After the first 3 men reached.
That will bring up Brad Miller. Again, really swinging the bat well in September. He doubled and drove in the first run for the Mariners. Right down the left field line.
Miller hitting roughly 300 over about his last 40 games. Escobar, the shortstop. Out number 2 is Trumbo, is able to get into third base. Now this was just a couple of moments ago, right as Miller was seeing his first pitch. Edgar calling Jesus Sucre over. Couple of coaching points.
I think more of a game plan. I don't think it's anything that has to do with his swing, his overall approach. I think it's pitch sequence, something to look for in an area, try to take advantage of that. Doubt that Edgar would talk to him about mechanics right now.
Gordon going back on it right by the track to make the catch. Sucre hit it stiff, put to Gordon in left field. Trumbo stranded at third, but 2 runs in. The Mariners have the lead. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Trumbo's 2-run double gives the Mariners a 3-2 lead as we make our way to the bottom of the fourth inning here from Kansas City. Now the time is now to join the club as a Mariners season ticket holder in 2016. Whether a full season or 20-game plan, you'll enjoy great benefits. You can test drive a seat today when you contact an account executive at 206-346-4001 or just go to mariners.com/16. Nine 1-2 due up for Kansas City. They've got them packed in here tonight from the K. Royals setting an all-time attendance record this season, well surpassing their previous best from the late 80s. Escobar backed away. Escobar has been a bit of a thorn in the Mariners' side the last couple of games. He has reached base 6 times in the first 2 games of this series. The good news is that he's only scored once.
It will be interesting again to watch Lloyd use his bullpen. The Mariners using 7 relievers in last night's game, the extra inning game, 22nd extra inning game. That's the most in the major league. So he's had to
practice.
He's had to manage the guys a lot, and now of course Paxton going an inning, a third. And Guaipe the second reliever, and I'm sure there are going to be a bunch more after that. So we really don't have a real long guy out in the pen, especially now that Nuno is going to get the start in LA. Times he's used Beimel, stretched him out a little bit. Danny Barquart also, but said Tom Wilhelmsen not available. Probably like to stay away from Carson Smith.
Now Guaipe's season high in pitches was 47. That came back in the middle of August at Fenway Park. You can see he's at 11 right now. Full count to Escobar beginning the bottom of the 4th. When we talk about Trumbo and that 2-run double into left field, when Mark Trumbo came over from Arizona, at the time all of our eyes focused on Trumbo, Nuno coming over as well, and you wonder where exactly the Mariners would be at times this year without Vidal Nuno, the different roles that he has filled for Lloyd.
No, you're absolutely right. Or Mark Trumbo with the different positions, played both corner outfield spots. He's played first.
Oh, he freezes him. That's a nasty pitch. Really had Escobar thinking about it. For a strikeout for Guaipe.
Well, Escobar thinks this pitch is inside. Breaking ball, backed up a little bit. Missed his location, but was able to get away with it. And for Mark Trumbo, off to a very slow start when he first came to the Mariners, but a couple of hits tonight, drove in 2 more runs, has his average probably up over 260 now. He was at 257 at the start of the game.
Strike 1 to Gordon. And for Nuno, it hasn't just been a matter of going back and forth between the bullpen and the rotation, but the frequency that it has happened in the short window that it has come,
and the different things that they've asked him to do out of the bullpen.
Right.
One night it might be just get the one left-hander out. Maybe we need 2 innings the next time. You know, it's been that kind of thing. Pitch an inning. Oh, by the way, you're going in the rotation in a couple days. See if you can give us 6 or 7 innings that way. He's really done a good job in all those situations too. He's pitched well.
You go bullpen to bullpen around the league and around the game, and there aren't many guys who can do that. It's almost a luxury for a lot of managers to have a guy that they can slot in both spots.
I think, you know, one of the things in this game, Aaron, and you hear it all the time from all kinds of relievers, and they'll, what role do you want to be in? When do you like to pitch? Well, whenever the manager tells me I'm going to pitch, or when the phone rings, I'm ready to go. I think that is exactly the way Nuno is. I don't think they're all that way.
Even if they say it?
Even if they say it.
Yeah.
Because that's what you would expect them to say, and that's what you want them to be able to do. But not many can do it, and do it well.
2-2 to Gordon. And he gets him looking. Back-to-back strikeouts with the bats on the shoulders. First it was Escobar, now Alex Gordon. Two outs. Take a look at our CenturyLink What's Next. And speaking of Vidal Nuno, we will see him tomorrow night. Our coverage begins at 6:30 from Anaheim, going up against hard-throwing righty Garrett Richards. The King versus Andrew Heaney in Game 2. And then Kuma on Sunday. Our coverage beginning at high noon from Anaheim against Jared Weaver. First pitch strike to Zobrist. Guaipe quickly in the driver's seat, 0-2.
Almost two identical pitches, same spot, right on the outside corner at the knees.
Just stays alive. There comes the 0-2. A weak wave and a miss, and Guaipe strikes out the side in order. A couple of looking, and now Zobrist, a three-quarter swing. We're off to the fifth. Talking with Michael Guaipe after he struck out the side in order.
I like the way Rick threw his arms out to the side. Probably looked at him and goes, just do that all the time.
Exactly.
Really nice inning.
Well, improve your on-bus percentage. Writing is easy. Just ask our Writer's Guide, available at soundtransit.org. It's always that simple, right?
Not quite. Coaches would like it to be, but it doesn't work out that way.
Marte extended his hitting streak to 12 earlier.
Third time through the lineup. Wouldn't try to bunt. That's how he picked up his base hit in the first inning. Squared around the bunt, was taking it towards the right side of the infield and able to beat it out.
It's a pretty impressive note on Marte. At least 2 times each of the last 9 games. First time that's happened in a long while. And Mike, you know what else? We're talking about Guaipe and striking out the side in order. As you can see, Rasmussen beginning to stir. That's really important too. You think about the Mariners getting the lead off of Cueto in the top of the 4th. We know that it's going to be a lot of the bullpen tonight after Paxton goes an inning and a third. Nice to see your young reliever in Guaipe mow through the order in what is one of the best hitting teams in baseball.
Maybe his best inning so far as a Mariner. When you look at the fastball command, was working ahead and able to put all 3 hitters away with the strikeout.
There comes a 3-2 to Marte, and the count stays full. Seager on deck looking for his first hit tonight.
This is the 6th 3-2 count for Cueto. Working here in the 5th inning. A lot of them. And Marte will reach base again.
Now for Marte with that walk, that's now walk number 21 this year. That's now more walks than he drew his entire time in Tacoma this season. Lloyd talked about this a day or two ago, because I think Mike is probably impressed, surprised all of us with the ability for Marte to get on base, whether it is with the hit or with the walk, maybe especially with the walk, something that he's done pretty well. Lloyd really did a nice job detailing the differences in mentality of taking a walk versus working for a walk. You see some guys going up there who might not want to swing the bat. They'll work for a walk, whereas Marte is going up there ready to hit, and he'll take a walk if that's the only thing that he'll get.
Now, I think the first part of that, what you're talking about, a good example of that is there was a stretch of 3 or 4 years where the Oakland A's were like that. Yeah. They were just standing there hoping you would walk them.
Don't even take a bat with
wanted to see a lot of pitches and that whole thing. They've changed since then. It's a different way of looking at things. But for Marte, he's up there to hit. And the thing that's been nice to see, and you don't see it very often with a young player, is he has a real good idea of the strike zone. And it's rare for him to get outside of the strike zone. He will from time to time, but for the most part, he is aggressive in the strike zone, and that's what you want to see.
That seems to be something the Royals have been so good at this year.
I have a note, something for Marte to shoot at. You mentioned 12-game hitting streak now. The Royals' record for a hitting streak is 30 games by George Brett. That was when he hit 390. Maybe Marte can be at 390 by the end of the next week. Carry it into the start of next year.
You can see his number retired over the Royals Hall of Fame in left field.
One of my all-time favorites, George Brett.
You had a chance to meet George.
Oh, yeah. Played against him.
He's a character, isn't he?
Yeah.
In a very good way.
Has a lot of fun, but you'd be hard-pressed to find somebody that plays the game harder or played the game harder than he did.
MVP that season, he hit 390. That was in 1980. Soft fly ball the opposite way. Medium depth for Gordon, now number 1. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. And he's in the house. George Brett hoping to see the Royals clinch the Central. He was in Chicago last year when the Royals clinched a playoff berth. Played in one of the best games we've seen in recent years, that wild card game here at Kauffman against the Oakland A's. Back right in front of the track, Rios, round number 2.
That will bring up Cano. He is 1 for 2 out of base hit his last time up. Hit a changeup into left field for a base hit. Royals fans still cheering for him.
Can't figure that they boo Minnie here.
No.
As we mentioned earlier, all goes back to the All-Star game a few years ago here in Kansas City. That was when Cano did not select Billy Butler, now with the A's, to hit for the American League. By the way, looking at the numbers of Brett, you mentioned that 390 MVP season. Tony Gwynn 394 in 1994. To find a guy who hit over 390, you have to go back to Ted Williams when he hit 406 that magical season in 1941. But you're talking about 1994, 1980, and 1941. Those are Incredible numbers.
All three incredible hitters.
Ball to strike. Two outs, Marte at first after the walk. Cano a single and a run scored back in the fourth. Career hit number 2001. And you can see Cano shaking his head a little bit.
He thought that fastball was inside.
And our apologies once again. We do not have the tracer or the velocity, as you can tell by now, on the screen for the telecast tonight. Having some problems here in Kansas City. We have the raw tracer data, which is accessible to Mike with Mission Control up here in the booth next to Mike Flowers, but we do not have a way to actually put it on the telecast, so you'll have to trust us. Two outs, Marte at first base. Cueto ends the fifth with a strikeout to Cano. And Marte left stranded. We go to the bottom of the fifth inning. Mariners up by a run. Look at the Big Fish Casino big catch, and it was Michael Guipe, Mike, blowing through the bottom of the fourth, striking out the side in order.
Had a couple of strikeouts looking. That one on the inside corner. Good fastball on the inside corner, the left-handed hitter. And then gets Zobrist to chase a breaking ball in the dirt. Working ahead of the hitters and, more importantly, able to put them away.
Lorenzo Cain leading things off for the Royals.
Rob Rasmussen continues to throw in the Mariner pen. Hosmer, the left-handed hitter, waiting on deck. Switch hitter Morales, and then Moustakas, another lefty.
Look inside the bullpen for the Mariners. Now, Cain has become a staple here in Kansas City, but a couple of years ago, most baseball fans really did not have a good idea as to who he was. Last year a breakout season. He's carried it over into this year. Has proved that last season was not a fluke. He was originally drafted by the Brewers. He was not a high draft pick at all back in 2004. But then in 2010 came over with Alcides Escobar, the starting shortstop for the Royals. That was in the Zach Greinke deal. Kane leading off the bottom of the fifth. And he gets him chasing. That's 4 straight strikeouts for Guaipe. Just like Rick Waits was talking about, Bill.
Just that easy. A couple of fastballs inside, and then goes back to the breaking ball and gets him to chase it in the 3-2 count. And Lloyd McClendon out of the dugout. He's going to make a pitch change, go to his left-hander, Rob Rasmussen.
Left-handed hitter Eric Hosmer is coming up next. 1 out, nobody on. Will step aside, a pitch and change. 4th pitcher coming on for the Mariners tonight. Say they eat well here in Kansas City. We experienced that firsthand for a few days. Maybe not eating well is the best way to phrase it, but
probably
eating plenty.
Yeah.
You won't go hungry. That's the point when you're here in KC. Well, grab mom and dad and the whole gang and head out to Safeco Field next Monday for the final BECU family night of the season when the Mariners host the Astros at 7:10. Each member of the family can pick up select U-Levels tickets for one low price. You can get your tickets at mariners.com. 1 out, nobody on. New pitcher coming on for the Mariners. It is Rob Rasmussen.
Will be his 18th appearance. 2-1 record. ERA just over 10. A couple tough outings for him, but he has 14 strikeouts and 13 2/3. Good fastball in the low 90s. Mix in a slider with it.
Missing on the first pitch to Hosmer. Now Rasmussen coming over from Toronto when Mark Lowe was traded to the Blue Jays. And just a couple of days ago, Lowe gave up his first runs in 11 games for the Blue Jays. Cranked to center. Miller ranging back, and it's over the wall. We are tied.
Rob, it's going to be on a breaking ball up out over the plate for Hosmer, his 16th home run of the year. And Rob, you can see he's upset with himself. They wanted that pitch down away, probably off the plate away to try to get him to chase it.
A double, now a homer for Hosmer. .414 feet to straightaway center field. This one has been back and forth so far tonight.
A couple of solo home runs for the Royals, keeping him in it. Interesting, Moustakas, you talked about it. He's really improved against lefties. Hit the home run off of Paxton before he left the game. And now that home run from Hosmer off the left-hander Rasmussen.
Morales swinging right through it. Now number 2. And that brings in Moustakas. Two outs, nobody on. You can see this has got to be one of the best props in baseball. It just has to be. Where did he get those? What garage sale in Kansas City were those purchased for $20?
When Moustakas goes to the plate, you can hear all the fans yell out "Moose." And I'm not sure where you would pick those up at.
Well, the career for Moustakas has been an interesting one from the standpoint of, until this year, his batting average has regressed each season. And last year to a pretty dramatic amount, beneath 200. This year, turning in his best season as a big leaguer.
Well, to the point last year where they sent him back to AAA.
And to his credit, he performed better once he returned. But
yes.
Talking about a top overall draft pick for the Royals.
It's amazing sometimes the little things that trigger success, maybe free you up to have success, but he had some big hits for them in the postseason, probably gained a lot of confidence from that.
That had to be true for all these Royals young players.
Look at Lorenzo Cain has been a good player, but he's a really good player now, and again, confidence.
And the game winner in the wild card.
Yeah, get on those big stages and have success, that'll do it. When Moustakas was sent out, they had Danny Valencia, who was playing third base now with Oakland. He ended up getting hurt, and that's why Moustakas was called back up, and he made the most of it.
And we had a minor delay there in between pitches, and we can see this one catches Sucre right to the ribs. Lobber to right field on a line, and it is just off the wall. And that was a laser beam from Moustakas. He's on base for the third time, a homer, a walk, and a double now.
Well, what we've seen is he can handle the pitch down and in. That's where they're trying to go. Pitch ended up middle in, but right at the knees, and screaming line drive off the fence, and Lloyd McClendon making a trip out to the mound. going to make a pitching change.
Logan Kinsing looks like he's warming up. Paxton, Ramirez, Quaipe, Rasmussen, and now Kinsing. Hosmer with a solo blast to center off of Rob Rasmussen, who is now out of the game. Mike Moustakas with a double off the wall. And here is Logan Kinsing.
He's going to face Rios. 14 appearances, 1-0 record, ERA just under 5. 11 innings for him, 9 strikeouts, 6 walks. Opponent's hitting just 158 against Kinsing. Good sinking fastball. He'll be in the low 90s with a slider.
Royals have the go-ahead run at second base. Well, the fans here tonight are hoping that they will be here to witness the Royals clinch. The Royals need to win, and the Twins need to lose. And right now the Twins living up to their end of the bargain. Nice start for Kinsing.
Good slider on the outside corner. The Royals 2 for 7 with runners in scoring position tonight.
Oh, 2. This time the fastball. Moustakas to go ahead and run at second base. Marte charging, able to keep it in the glove, and the stretch on the other end. Lobo keeps his foot on the bag, and the go-ahead run is left stranded at second base. Top of the 6th inning. Well, stay tuned in after the Mariners broadcast for our high school football game of the week, brought to you by Acura of Bellevue. You're going to watch Kentwood take on Kent Ridge at 8:30 p.m. Pacific. Don't miss your favorite local teams in action this season on Root Sports. Cueto back up on the mound to work the top of the 6th inning, just over 80 pitches on the night. Mariners got a run in the 2nd. RBI double into left field by Miller. And then 2 runs in the 4th with a 2-run double by Trumbo.
Well, he's going to face what has been the tough part of the lineup for him tonight. Seth Smith going to lead off. Seth with a double. He's 1 for 2 and scored a run. And then Mark Trumbo waiting on deck, 2 for 2 with a double. He scored a run and driven in 2.
A couple of Mariners fans here tonight. Make it a few. First pitch strike. Looked like that first pitch was a rare curveball from Cueto.
He hasn't thrown many breaking balls. Sticking to the scouting report, good fastball, cut fastball, and his changeup. Orioles will keep the shift on with Seth hitting.
Two and 2. See it again there. Into the shift. Long backhand drive from Zobrist. And Smith sneaks it through. That's the old backhand about 20 feet deep into right field.
Right center field. For Seth, his second base hit. So he's 2 for 3. Third time tonight the Mariners have had their leadoff hitter on. It was Marte leading the game off. He was stranded at third. And then Cano with a base hit in the 4th. He ended up scoring.
Rios back a couple of steps. Out number 1. Now tonight, the deciding game of this 3-game series. Mariners taking game 1 in convincing fashion. The Royals winning last night in walk-off fashion in 10 innings. Mariners looking for what would be their 3rd straight series win. The Angels, then the Rangers on the road, and now here in Kansas City. And it would be their 2nd straight series win against the first place team. Texas right now leading the West by 3 games over the Astros.
Logan Morrison looking for his first hit tonight. He's 0 for 2.
Danny Duffy, a starter for much of this season, has been shifted to the bullpen where he will be in the postseason.
Next pitch will be 90 for Cueto.
There goes Smith. Hosmer only played at first.
Phil Lloyd putting the hit and run on. Give Brad Miller a chance to drive in a run. Brad 1 for 2 with a double. Picked up an RBI in the 2nd inning.
Perez and Cueto talking things over.
Well, I think what he's reminding him is that he has first base open. Sucre is due up next. So I think he just wants to make sure he's really careful with Brad. And they also know in their scouting reports that Brad has been a hot hitter in this month.
2 outs and a first pitch strike. Mariners have the go-ahead run. Seth Smith at second base. Miller already 1 RBI tonight. High to left center. More towards left. Easy play for Gordon. And that'll do it. The Mariners strand Smith at second base. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Seattle Mariners baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Money Tree, proud to make a donation to Mariners Care for every Mariners win. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. By Jack in the Box, taste the new spicy nacho chicken sandwich munchie meal tonight only at Jack in the Box. And by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. Happy you could join us tonight for Mariners baseball on Root Sports. We're all tied up here at Kauffman Stadium as we enter the bottom of the 6th inning. Kinsing back up on the mound. Got the final out to end the 5th after he relieved Rob Rasmussen, who worked a third of an inning. Now, we all remember the World Series last year between these Royals and the Giants, and the MVP of that World Series was Madison Bumgarner, who was just electric. 1 run over 21 innings in the World Series last year. One of the best World Series performances by any player ever. And the man right there is Salvador Perez, the only guy to get a run off of Mad Bum, a home run. And it was a ball like that that won the game, only it was fair for Salvador Perez in the wild card game.
No, you're right. And with Perez, even though he hits 8th in the lineup, you have to be careful with him. He has 20 home runs on the year.
And it was Perez who really gave the Royals hope. Game 7, Royals down to their final out. It was Perez at the plate after what turned out to be that bizarre triple from Gordon. And it was Bumgarner on the mound, so the only guy who had made Bumgarner look mortal, at least for a pitch, was Perez, but he popped up in foul ground as it was caught in foul territory at third base. Pablo Sandoval, the last play that he made as a Giant before going over to Boston. Hit hard but foul. Escobar on deck. Perez hitting 8th in the order, a single earlier tonight. That was in the second. Right through it, down on strikes. Perez frustrated. And a nice start to the bottom of the 6th for Logan Kinsing. Well, Bark at the Park is back next Tuesday at 7:10. This special offer includes a ticket for both you and your dog, a Mariners dog bandana, and an invitation for all four-legged fans to walk around the bases post-game. It's all for only $40. Tickets are available only at mariners.com/bark.
Logan Kinsing looks as if he has a really good slider tonight. Even right there in the 3-2 pitch, he was able to throw the slider, get the strikeout. More importantly, it was on the plate for a strike.
One out for Escobar. Strike one. If the Mariners can end up winning this ball game, it will really kind of have the feel for a handful of games last season for the Mariners where Lloyd would need to go to the bullpen early and could ride the bullpen. Obviously a lot more arms in there now just because of the time of year that it is with rosters expanding. But there is a game that one that really stands out was an interleague play last year in Atlanta when might have been Erasmo Ramirez did not pitch very well early. Lloyd got the hook out quickly and rode the bullpen for goodness maybe 5 or even 6 innings. And he had to do that tonight because Paxton only an inning and a third, a torn fingernail, and that was it tonight for James Paxton.
And you could tell he was really frustrated when he walked off the mound.
One out, nobody on. And the 1-2 to Escobar. Ripping right through that heater. You can see Sucre set up high for it.
And we'll take a look at it. It's going to be on the inside corner. Hits his glove. A little run to it, too. Just tied him up. Well located fastball.
Back-to-back strikeouts now facing Alex Gordon. Royals tonight scoring on an errant throw on a pickoff move by Sucre, which allowed Zobrist to come home from second. Then on 2 solo homers, Moustakas in the second, Hosmer in the 5th. Kinsing behind 2-0. Gordon 1 for 3 tonight, a single back in the second. Snapped an 0 for 22 skid last night. And he gets a strike in to make it 3-1.
Gonna have to repeat that pitch. That pitch on the knees, outside corner. Looks like Sucre wants it there again.
Ball 4 to Gordon. It extends the bottom of the 6th to go ahead and run at first base.
And Lloyd McClendon out of the dugout. 19 pitches so far for Kensing. And it looks like he's going to make a change.
Joe Beimel coming on as Lloyd has had to wear out a path from the dugout to the mound tonight here in KC. In the bottom of the 6th inning, all tied up. And we'll take a look at the Mariners calendar, brought to you by Sleep Country USA. We'll look ahead especially to the upcoming homestand, the final homestand of the season. We'll have a family night at Safeco Field on the 28th against the Astros, and then a Grand Slam family package night on the 30th against Houston. A day off on the 1st, and the A's come to town. Final 3 games of the year. Fan Appreciation Night. Take home a team poster on the 2nd. And then Kids Appreciation Day with a Moose poster on Sunday. And fireworks following the game on the 2nd, by the way. Hope to see you there at Safeco Field.
Joe Beimel going to face Ben Zobrist, the switch hitter. For Beimel, this will be his 50th appearance on the year. ERA just over 4, 4.15. 43 and a third. Opponent sitting 277 against Joe.
Starts him off with a strike.
Mariners pitching in this series been able to strike out 29 Royals. I think Lloyd McClendon would like to see number 30 right here.
Go ahead, run it first. That's Gordon. Not a particularly fast runner. The opposite way. This moves Gordon into second. And he makes a turn. Trumbo near the track. Takes it out of the grass. And it's a double. The second one tonight from Zobrist. 2 in scoring position with 2 outs.
Well, take a look at it. Going the other way. Second pitch of the at-bat. Hit it hard into right field. Good job by Trumbo to cut it off. It gets to the fence. Gordon would score.
Second and third for Kansas City. 2 outs for Kane. Going after the first pitch, strike one.
Good changeup from Joe, just off the outside corner. He will mix it up. He's not an overpowering pitcher. His fastball, well, he'll hit 89 miles an hour. Occasionally, he'll get 90. He'll change speeds on his fastball, use the changeup.
Alex Gordon at third, Zobrist at second. Go ahead run 90 feet from home with 2 outs for the Royals. Inside, moves his feet.
Beimel, a veteran, been around for a while. He understands the situation. I think if Kane is going to put the ball in play, it's going to be on a pitch that Joe wants in the location that he wants. If he walks him, that's okay. You have first base open. The left-hander, Hosmer, waiting on deck.
Three and one.
Just well off the plate with that changeup.
And there is Hosmer.
We've already seen Hosmer homer off the left-hander earlier in the ball game. Overall, Hosmer hitting .279 coming into the game with 3 home runs. Now 4 home runs for him.
Big spot here for Beimel. Gordon the walk, able to get to third on the double by Zobrist. He's at second. It's a strike in.
Slow curveball, 72 miles an hour, just hitting the outside corner. An excellent pitch. Throwing him one fastball, and it was well in off the plate. Move him around a little bit to open up the outside part of the plate. We'll see what he wants to do right here.
Kane calls for time. Gordon at third, the go-ahead run. 2 outs and a full count to Kane. Lomo chasing after it, nearing the tarp. Logan climbing the tarp, and he almost makes the catch.
That would have been spectacular if he would have made that catch. And we've seen him make a lot of good ones in foul territory this year. But with the tarp there, he'll always give you his best effort. He sees the tarp, puts the glove up. I'm not sure if he ended up getting a piece of it. Great effort. That was on the changeup again.
And he was just going in there blind, hoping he would run into it.
Yeah.
They'll do it again. The 3-2 on the way home to Kane. Just gets a piece.
Took a little bit off his fastball right there, trying to get a little more sink to it. And it was down out of the strike zone. Borderline pitch. This will be the 8th pitch of this at bat. And he has shown him a little bit of everything here.
2 outs and 2 on. The 3-2. Royals take the lead. Here comes Gordon. Zobrist behind him. He scores with a slide, and now Kane caught in between. Lomo, the tag, and they got him. He's out, but the Royals are on top. Kane with 2 strikes and 2 outs into left field. Kansas City by 2 through 6 innings.
Close play at second. Kane thought that he missed the tag. Hard to tell right there. He comes off the base, able to keep a fingertip on it. Ned Yost is holding the players up. He thought that he missed the first tag. We'll take a look at it. That's Kyle Seager. It looks as if he was able to tag his right arm, and they're not going to challenge it.
Kane out, but the Royals lead it through 6 innings. And he gives the Royals the lead with the 2-run single into left field. Sucre leading things off in the top of the 7th. Cueto a first pitch strike. Batson, we've seen him in this series. You saw him last night.
Good fastball. His fastball last night was 95, 96 miles an hour.
Cueto approaching 100 pitches. There's the shoulders. Doesn't work out for him this time, though.
Yeah, that fastball was off the outside corner.
Escobar back a couple of steps. 1 out. Sucre retired as we check in with Tom Glasgow. Tom? All right, thank you, Tom. 1 out, bases empty for Marte.
Thought it was interesting. You were talking about the timing of the hitter. We saw Cueto on the 2-2 pitch do the shoulder shake, turn, all of that, and then a quick pitch on the 3-2 pitch.
We've talked about the struggles from Cueto, that stretch of starts where his ERA, 5 starts, his ERA was over 9.5. It was interesting to hear Ned Yost talk about a phone conversation, and a lengthy one at that he had with Brian Price, former Mariners pitching coach. He was Cueto's pitching coach for years in Cincinnati before becoming his manager. And Dave Island, the pitching coach of the Royals, was in on that call as well. And for what sounded like about an hour's worth of time, if not more, the three of them talked about, you can see Island there, Cueto, how to coach Cueto, what might be wrong with Cueto. Moustakas coasting over. 2 outs. It's always interesting anytime you hear a manager talking to another manager about a player. Now in this case it's an American League team and a National League team. But we heard that Lloyd called up Ron Washington over the winter to talk about Nelson Cruz, and Wash gave his full sign of encouragement for the Mariners to go sign Cruz. But always kind of fun when you hear behind the scenes conversations like that.
They'll rely on each other, that's for sure.
Kane comes charging in, puts on the brakes. Very quick, top of the 7th for Johnny Cueto. Time to stretch here from Kansas City. As you consider how Washington's lottery win would change your bucket list. Play today. Full house inside Kauffman Stadium. Royals magic number down to 2. A win tonight from Kansas City and a loss by the Twins to the hands of the Indians, and the Royals will clinch their first ever Central title, and right now they are in the top of the 8th. In Minnesota, the Indians leading the Twins 6-1, so things going well for Royals fans in Minneapolis. As we take a look at our new pitcher, it is Jose Ramirez up on the mound for the Mariners.
Just 7 appearances for him. Been a little bit of a struggle. You can see the high ERA, but only 5 2/3, 4 strikeouts, 8 walks. That's been the problem. Good fastball. He'll be in the mid-90s with his fastball.
Ramirez came up on the first when the roster's expanded. Will face Hosmer to lead off the Royals 7th.
He has had a good night. 2 for 3, a couple of extra base hits, a double in the first, and then the home run that tied the ball game up in the 5th.
Hosmer now with 12 hits in his last 7 games, a 7-game hitting streak. Watch out, that comes in tight. 95. Hosmer gets drilled.
.95 right off the tricep.
So after Ramirez gets ahead of Hosmer 0-2, he hits him. That puts him aboard. It brings in Morales. Smith off to his right to settle underneath it for out number 1. In print and online at SeattleTimes.com. The Seattle Times delivers deep sports coverage to your desktop, phone, or tablet. Make the most of the season. Visit SeattleTimes.com to subscribe tonight. One out, one on for Mike Moustakas, who has reached all 3 times up. A homer, a walk, and a double. Mike, we've had some beautiful weather here in Kansas City for these 3 games tonight. 78 degrees at first pitch. You had talked earlier, just in passing, about the AstroTurf that was once here. How hot was it on the field in those summer days and nights in Kansas City with the radiating heat of the turf?
Not as bad at night, but you would play some day games. I've told the story. It used to be a crown field. That's the way they used to do it for the drainage. And when I was standing at third base looking out to right field where Jay Buhner would be at, because of the waves coming off of the turf from the heat, I could barely see him in right.
You could barely see him?
Because of the waves, the heat waves that were coming up. We used to have buckets in the dugout. One that would just had water in there, so if you wanted to dip your spikes in there, you could in between innings. And the other one had ammonia water in it with towels just to try to
clear it out a little bit.
Clear it out a little bit, keep it going. Yeah, it was rough.
So the concept, I think, for many watching at home, of dipping your feet in water during a baseball game.
Yeah, putting your shoes in.
Right. Was there a melting effect that would take place after a while?
That sometimes there would be, but you would be surprised. You would think, wow, wet shoes, why would you want to run it out? You go out on that field, it would take no time to dry them out.
Wow.
So the natural surface is much nicer here.
Is that what you're saying? I was about to assume. Moustakas, the walk. Hosmer hit by the pitch, now at second.
A couple of walks for Moustakas tonight.
How common was the outfield, the crowned outfield?
Very. They all had it, just so it would drain better.
How far we've come.
Yeah.
1995 when they went to natural playing surface here. One out, 2 on for Rios. Up the middle, a base hit. Hosmer being waved in. Miller's throw home, and Hosmer scores standing. 2 in scoring position now for the Royals as they lengthen the lead here in the bottom of the 7th.
Solid line drive, slicing line drive back up the middle. The Royals now 4 for 10 tonight with runners in scoring position. The Mariners have to bring their infield in. To the catcher, Salvador Perez. He is 1 for 3 tonight. Had a single in the 2nd inning.
Now for Ramirez, he's now allowed 6 earned runs in his last 7 games. And trying to wiggle his way out of the 7th here with only 1 out. Kansas City, there's certainly some concern about the rotation for the Royals. What will happen to the bullpen with Holland, as we learned today, now done for the season. An elbow injury. But Mike, when you look up and down this lineup, there is not an easy out.
No, there's not. And you and I had talked about this before when Brad first started playing the outfield, and on that play, he's really improved leaps and bounds out there. I mean, he looks so much better in center field, but sometimes the timing and the speed of a play that's happening and where the ball takes you. And I think in that situation right there, they're going to go ahead and put Perez on. For Brad, I think he needs to come up, make sure he gets that throw into second base, because you keep the double play in order. You really don't have much of a chance to get the runner at home. But that's just a lack of experience. It's something that he'll learn, and it's the reason why they're playing him out there every day right now. It's those little things. That's the next step for him. But as far as fielding the fly ball and his routes to the baseball and cutting the ball off in the gap like he did right there, he's really done a nice job. And he has a strong throwing arm. But those are the little things that you kind of go through your head before every play, where at shortstop it was all natural because that's what he's done his whole life. And that's going to be the next step for him.
Rick waits out for a chat with Ramirez and Sucre. Now, a good friend, Rusty Kuntz, former Mariners coach, made Jay Buhner the right fielder that he was.
Yeah, outfield coach for a long time.
Rusty told us today that this will be his last season coaching first base for the Royals.
He'll stay in the game.
He'll stay in the game. He'll be reassigned to more of a minor league roving position. Bases loaded up for Escobar. 1 for 3 tonight. A couple of strikeouts, a single earlier.
Good fastball, 96 miles an hour, right on the outside corner.
Sixth reliever for the Mariners tonight. Again, they used 7 last night. Nobody throwing in the pen.
Two balls and a strike. Well, not many options for Lloyd in the bullpen. Rick Waits has been on the phone a lot tonight. No place to put Escobar, a 3-1 count. Gordon on deck with 1 out. This one starting to slip away a little bit for the Mariners. Ramirez hoping for a ground ball. And he gets it. Cano, the option pass. Marte, a strong throw, not in time. 7-3 Royals.
One of the things that this team does well is run a lot of speed in their lineup, a lot of speed on their bench, and that includes Escobar, the shortstop. Ball is not hit hard.
He can get down the line in good shape as he beats it out.
You can see Marte really rear back.
Yeah, he knew it. He had to put a lot on it to try to make it a close play. They did everything that they could, but just too much speed. Escobar will pick up an RBI.
Rios now at third. Runners on the corners for Gordon.
Looks like Tony Zick will be the next man up.
And that bullpen starting to get awfully lonely back there. Ramirez, Guaipe, Rasmussen, Kensing, Bible, now Jose Ramirez on the mound. Rios at third. Escobar, the RBI fielder's choice at first. Two outs. Gordon at the plate. A 1-1 count. Two runs into the sixth for the Royals, another two here in the seventh. And for Kansas City, we've talked so much about them trying to clinch the division tonight, but they're also trying to keep a lead over the Blue Jays for home field advantage. They entered tonight with a 1.5 game lead over Toronto. Keeping an eye on Escobar.
Well, the Twins trying to get back in their game. Now a 6-3 ball game as they're in the 8th inning.
Rusty Kuntz was telling us today on the field before the game, first base coach we were just talking about for the Royals, going back to last night when Hosmer got picked off by Bible. He was saying that Hosmer gets to the bag and Rusty said, now watch out, this guy's got a good pickoff move, and then wham. It happened. I told you. Swing and a miss. Gordon down on strikes. Not pleased about it. Another 2 runs for Kansas City. They strand a couple as we go to the 8th. On to the top of the 8th, where the Royals take a 7-3 lead with them. Now we've added another EQC Girls Night Out set for Saturday, October 3rd against the A's. For just $35, you'll get a main or terrace club seat, a great-looking Mariners cap, and your first drink. Visit mariners.com/girls for tickets. That'll be it for Johnny Cueto, his second straight quality start for the Royals.
7 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs, all of them earned. A couple of walks, 5 strikeouts. He threw 104 pitches. Pretty good command of his fastball tonight. Used his cut fastball and his changeup.
Here is Ryan Madson, the new pitcher. We saw him work an inning scoreless last night.
63 appearances. He's pitched well. A 2.31 ERA. Opponents hitting just 2.03 against him. Again, good fastball. Be in the mid-90s. That fastball at 96.
Facing Cruz to begin the top of the 8th. Nelson trying to extend a 10-game hitting streak. 0 for 3 tonight. Right back to Madson. 1 out. That'll bring in Cano. And we mentioned kind of in passing in the bottom of the last inning about Greg Holland being done for the year. That was the buzz around Kauffman Stadium today, as he disclosed this afternoon that he had an MRI really a few weeks ago after a road trip in Tampa Bay, which showed some tear and a ligament in his elbow. And to what degree that tear is, you can understand he did not want to divulge that.
You had to think something was wrong when he goes out there and his fastball's at 88 miles an hour.
No doubt. When we think about a tear in the elbow ligament, as Cano does not go around, one of the names you think of is Tanaka, all those splitters, and that was a topic of conversation earlier in this season. But even if you look at the bullpen for the Royals, Luke Hochshaver had a slight tear in his ligament that he pitched with for 4 years. So there's always this question as to how severe is the tear, and also what kind of pitcher are you? Those two things can really affect it. And this has been just a tremendous bullpen. That's been some recent history. You see the 2013 Royals, historically one of the best. This year, now same story. Back a step or two, Zobrist. But one of the reporters asked Holland, this is what really stood out the most. Said, Greg, when did you first start feeling the discomfort? And he said August, which you're thinking, okay, last month. August of last year. And this is something that Holland's been working through the World Series, through the postseason last year, and into spring training this season.
Well, you're wondering, you call it a tear, a slight tear. Nobody really is sure, but how much more damage he created for his elbow by continuing to pitch with that pain in his elbow.
Because we've seen some pitchers will rest it, won't require surgery, it will heal up. Others, it'll go on them. 2 outs for Smith.
I think it's, you mentioned Tanaka, I think it's a little bit easier for a starter because they go out and they pitch their game, and then they can basically rehab, if you want.
A poor man's rehab.
Until they go to their next start, and they have that time in between, and then once they get loose, they're in the game, and they go until they can't go anymore, and then they have the 4 days again. Or with a reliever, you never know.
Shrug your shoulders, it could be any night.
And you might have to throw 2 or 3 nights in a row.
Ball and 2 strikes on Smith. You could just see, though, the disappointment in Holland's face. One that he's done for the year, but even more so, well, the second layer is that this is obviously a season that they're trying to get back and this time win the World Series.
Well, not just that, but going through it last year, I'm sure he'd really like to be there and a real part of what's happening this year for this club.
There's no question. Two and two. By the way, in Minneapolis, that game is going to the bottom of the ninth, with the Indians leading 6-3. A Twins loss and a Royals win tonight. The Royals clinch their first ever Central title. You can imagine plenty of devices. We'll be watching the scoreboards and what looks like a sellout crowd here tonight in Kauffman Stadium. Smith takes the walk with 2 outs.
Just off the inside corner. Best fastball from Madsen. That one at 98 miles an hour.
That brings in Trumbo. A couple of hits tonight. 2 RBIs as well. 2-run double in the 4th inning. Too, when you're talking about the bullpen situation for the Royals, there has been this thread of supreme loyalty in Kansas City that we've seen from afar over the years. Ownership being loyal with Dayton Moore, the general manager, when things were not going quite as planned for a short period of time. That loyalty going from Moore to Yost, now the winningest manager in franchise history. And we've seen the Royals really stick with some of their young players. The struggles we mentioned earlier from Moustakis, Alex Gordon, a bust at third base, a first-round draft pick.
Even Hosmer
as well. They move Gordon to left field. He becomes a Gold Glover and an All-Star. But they really stuck with Holland as long as they could before it just became too apparent that that was not going to work anymore. Two out, Smith at first base. The walk. On base for the 3rd time tonight. A little rainbow into shallow center. Kane pedals in, and he makes the catch. A runner left. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Rubber game 7-3 as we take a look at our CenturyLink. What's next? The upcoming series, a weekend set of 3 games in Anaheim. It'll be Vidal Nuno making his 30th appearance, his 8th start of the season for the Mariners tomorrow against Garrett Richards. The King trying to get to 20 wins going on Saturday, and then it'll be Kuma versus Weaver in the finale. Zobrist leading off the Royals' 8th inning. The new closer, Wade Davis. When you look at Zobrist, two things come to mind in relationships to the Mariners. Two things that he has done to make himself an all-star and now playing his 10th season. One, he changed positions from a shortstop to a utility man, and you can relate that obviously to Brad Miller. And the other is that very early in his career with Tampa Bay, he completely tore down his swing to the studs during the offseason and came back and was an all-star for the first time the following season. And when you think about that, you wonder how much that could correspond with Mike Zunino and the work he'll be doing. As that gets off of Marte, and Zobrist aboard at first. And it's an error on Marte. Now we know that Mike Zunino will be doing some changes to his swing, and probably, Mike, I would have to think some pretty serious ones during the instructional league this year. And that man right there, Ben Zobrist, did both of those things, and he's become one of the most sought-after players in baseball. He could play for just about any team.
Well, and sometimes that's what it takes, Aaron. I think that when you have young players, you give them the opportunity to play, and you have to give them the chance, because they've gone through the minor leagues playing. You talk about a swing, or even the way they field, or the way that they pitch, and they're obviously successful enough to get to the major league level, and you have to give them the opportunity to go out there and either succeed or fail before you start making changes. And sometimes you can watch a young player for a week and realize he's going to have to make some changes, but until they're committed to it, it doesn't do you a lot of good.
What a snag by Lomo, but a foul ball.
So I think when you think about those things, that's kind of where you're at. And when you talk about Mike Zunino, for example, whatever the changes are that the organization wants Mike to make, and Mike, obviously, I know this, he will work extremely hard at it. I think those repetitions over the course of the winter is going to help him as he goes into spring training. And then the next hope is that he has success early next year. And the biggest reason why is because even though the changes he's making may be the right ones, you have to get to a point to where you have some sort of success with it. So as a player, you feel that the things you're doing are the right things.
All comes down to confidence.
It comes down to confidence and knowing. And the only way you know if something is working that you've changed is to see the results on the field. If you're a veteran player and a guy that's been around for a long time, you can deal with those things differently. You understand that it may not be good over the next 20, 30, 40 at-bats, but I know this is the right course I need to be in. Because you can feel it, you can see it. But a younger player, it makes it more difficult.
Now the crowd seeing the score in Minnesota. Twins losing tonight. So a win by the Royals, and they would win the Central. And Aaron now is single. Now they're on their feet here in Kansas City.
We'll bring up Eric Hosmer tonight. 2 for 3. Double and a home run. He's driven in a run, scored twice. Johnny Gomes has come out on deck. He will hit for Morales, the DH, tonight.
Sellout crowd tonight, over 32,000. Tomorrow night, the Royals will go over 2.6 million in attendance. And even dating back to last year, TV ratings, a huge spike, radio ratings, same story. high pop-up. Lomo, fair ground. Out number 1. And here is Johnny Gomes pinch hitting for Morales. Now, there's so many ways you can build a ball club. You look up and down the lineups tonight, for example, for the Royals. You can see that they have hit on their first-round draft picks. They have augmented with some free agents, guys like Morales and Rios, an international signing in Perez, who's become an all-star every year and a Gold Glove winner. Trades, brought Kane over, brought Escobar over. All kind of came together last year for Kansas City. And the same story this year for sure.
Well, you can even look at their bullpen. We've talked about Holland a lot, a big part of what they did last year. 32 saves for him this year. Unfortunately, he's going to miss the rest of the way. And you had Herrera, young man that they had, but getting Davis in the trade from the Rays. Now that they have the issue with Holland, here's a guy, possibly the best reliever, maybe top 3 for sure.
Yeah, no doubt.
To step in and close for you.
Logan, a foot race. Gomes is out.
Just didn't want to see a collision on this one. Logan able to stop his momentum as he tags the base and let Johnny run past him. Bring in Moustakas. He's been on base all 4 times. A couple of walks, a home run. His 21st on the year and a double.
And that guy's shoulders are burning tonight. He's been like that all night long. Two outs, 2 in scoring position. A win tonight for Kansas City would be win number 89. That would match their total from all of last year. They have not won a division since '85. Go back to that '85 team. Of course, George Brett, Steve Balboni, guys like Hal McRae. These are the names from the last division winner for Kansas City. Oh, 0-2 on Moustakas still. That '85 year, they had to wait a lot longer to clinch. That was the second to last game of the season. That was against the A's. In the first week of October, I mentioned Willie Wilson. It was Wilson who had the game-winning hit. Miller breaking in. Miller charging. Can't get there. Zobrist scores. Kane right behind him. What a night for Mike Moustakas. He has reached all 5 times.
And after the double and the home run, Brad Miller in center field playing deep. That was on a changeup right off the end of the bat. Brad not able to get to it.
Now tonight has worked out just about perfectly for Kansas City. A quality start from Cueto. He goes 7, plenty of offense. And then add to all of that, Twins loss.
Well, that's the other part of it, too, with Cueto. Back-to-back quality starts for him when there was a lot of concern. So they're starting to feel a little bit better about that situation, I'm sure.
Have to be.
Ramirez, 46 pitches.
Miller racing back, about to the track, and it's just off his glove. Moustakas will make for run number 10. Rios in the third.
Second RBI of the game for Rios. As you see Brad going all the way back, getting close to the wall and right off the end of his glove. Rick Waite's pitching coach going to make a trip out to the mound. And more than anything, give Ramirez a little bit of a break. 47 pitches for him. Royals tonight, I have them 5 for 13 runners in scoring position. And one of the strengths of their club, hitting .284 as a team coming into this ball game. Done a good job driving in runs this year. #1 hitting team in the American League. Started tonight 5th in runs scored in the American League.
2 outs, Rios at third base, and it brings in Salvador Perez. Marte fields it cleanly, and that'll do it in the bottom of the 8th. We are off to the 9th. Mariners down to their final 3 outs as the Royals are trying to win the Central tonight. All right, Tom, thank you. As the Mariners down to their final 3 outs, the bottom third of the order due up. It'll start with Logan Morrison, and he will face the new closer for the Kansas City Royals, Wade Davis.
And the numbers: 64 appearances, 0.86 ERA, 70 strikeouts, and 62 2/3. Opponent's hitting just 146 against him.
Teed off to right field. This is hammered, and it is gone. Only the third home run given up by Wade Davis. And even though there's still a long way to go for the Mariners, that's got to feel awfully good for Lomo, a Kansas City boy coming back to his hometown.
Well, he gets a first pitch fastball and just ambushes it. 17th home run on the year for Logan.
And that will at least momentarily dampen the spirits of over 34,000 here tonight from the K. Davis had, we mentioned this last night, had a club record over 125 straight innings without allowing a home run. That was snapped on the first day of August in Toronto. It was Davis who got the win last night. He worked the 10th inning, retired the side in order before the Royals walked off with the win thanks to the base hit by Lorenzo Cain. And Davis, after the home run, runs it to a 3-1 count to Miller. Sean O'Malley about to pinch hit. Miller, a walk. First 2 men aboard. And here comes O'Malley batting in Sucre spot. O'Malley, who has some family here in Kansas City. His wife is from this area. We haven't seen much of O'Malley in this series.
He's made the most of his opportunities. Only 29 at bats, but he has 9 hits. Double.
Now, when you've been on the bench the entire night, stepping inside the box against Wade Davis, that's not easy. One and two. Davis keeping an eye on Miller, who walked. Two outs to go for the Royals. Back at the top of the order, that brings in Marte. 1 out, 1 on, 1 run in already. The mammoth shot by Lomo, number 17 on the season, to begin this 9th inning. The last time the Royals won a division crown, it was when they shared the same division as the Mariners. That was back in the AL West days of '85. Went on to take down the Cardinals in the World Series. Their Lone World Series championship. And when you think back to spring training and even the winter before that, it was remarkable, especially as we sit here today, to think about how many people did not think the Royals could do again what they did last year. So many people fell in love with the Indians, with that rotation. You can understand why. But offensively, it was the same players, really, for the most part. Just at Brandon Moss. The White Sox went out. They won the winter in the Central. There's no doubt. The Tigers, you figure the division always goes through Detroit. Nothing could be further from the truth this year.
Who thought the Twins would be in it up to tonight?
The Twins and the Astros, the two biggest surprises in the league. Caught looking. One out away here in Kansas City. Over 34,000 strong. It's up to Seager. Strike one. Pretty good numbers against Davis. Only 8 at bats. Everybody's ready here at Kauffman Stadium. Losing battery life pitch by pitch. One strike away for the Royals. They will want to say that they were here tonight. They should do it. The flip. Congratulations to the Kansas City Royals. They are the champions of the American League Central for the first time in franchise history.
They really did a lot of things well this year. We've talked about it. First in hitting, 5th in runs scored, 5th in ERA. Terrific bullpen for them to play good defense, and they certainly run well. And they know what's ahead of them now. Been through it all the way to the World Series last year.
Win that ties their win total from last year. They raise the antlers. They put up the W tonight at Kauffman Stadium. They win the series. More importantly for the Royals, they win the division, and they have officially punched their ticket to the postseason. And now fighting for home field advantage over the Blue Jays. So still plenty to play for Ned Yost. What a scene here tonight from Kansas City. Royals win it. They win the series. They win the division. Mariners postgame presented by Delta Airlines starts right now with Tom and Dave. Guys.